calling the plays. The next minute you only doing third downs. Then the next minute you doing 2 minutes. When the reporter goes, well, I saw a coach talking to somebody else when the play was being called.
He wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't doing anything. Now what? I mean, that is hilarious.
It's not hard, Key. It's not hard. It's not hard.
In 2-minute situation, but in most offenses that I've been in, we called the 2-minute, the quarterback, because it's moving so fast. All you do is get a signal from the sideline and you call it. You don't look at the call sheet. You say you're moving. Everything is on the run. So they're going to give you a 4, a 2, a 3. You know we're in 2 minutes. What a 2 means, what a 3 means. You just know. And so I don't know. How could he?
Key,
I love Peyton Manning to death. I love him. One of my good buddies in this league. I don't know how he put his name to that. I just don't know how Peyton was able. I don't know.
Endorsing Geiser.
How did you put your name to that? And I know Peyton and Archie and them sit back at home and they go look at each other at Thanksgiving. They probably was looking at each other going, you really signed off on that dude? I mean, like, come on.
I've worked through so many emotions with Adam Gase. Like, I'm over being angry at Adam Gase now. Like, this is who he is. That's why I said, for me, the most entertaining times on Sundays are watching the post presser with those individuals. Matt Nagy, him. I mean, you're just going to get the best form of entertainment. And now, just triple down. Just stay with him. I mean, I don't want to change things up. I don't want to win the game. Stay in the Trevor Lawrence race. Stay in it. Let him keep blundering games. Go 0-16, 0-16, however the hell you want to phrase it, and just get to the prize at the end of the road.
Whatever that prize is, hopefully he will not be around to see that prize unwrapped.
He can't be. There's no way.
Man, some of the weirdest things have gone on in the National Football League in terms of retaining coaches and hiring coaches. So
can we go back to something we talked about at break? Can we just let it out?
What's that?
You and I were just talking about the fact that, all these coaches.
Yes.
And you said a lot. Look, there are 5 or 6 good coaches in the league.
Yeah, it's a handful of them. The rest of them bums.
Let's talk about why you get hired.
Because it's nepotism,
Exactly.
it's friends, it's people.
Exactly.
You look at the Bob Quinn situation. He hired Matt Patricia after, well documented, Coach Caldwell comes off a 9-7 season after a 9-7 season and the team going to the playoffs the 2 years previously. Then you hire him because y'all used to drink coffee in the lounge together in New England. Boom. Oh, Zubin, when I get hired, I'm bringing you on as my capologist.
Boom.
Like, you don't do that. You hire the people best fit for that. Bob Quinn went on to talk about they needed a leader who could beat the good teams in this league because Coach Caldwell surely can't.
No.
Like, what?
And they certainly weren't one of the good teams in the league. At 13-29-1, he's done. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, including Heather Dinich, to talk college football coming up at 8:10 Eastern. We are also brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Look, we all accidentally damage our phones. It happens. Now, Straight Talk Wireless new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection, just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, data, and more. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply. We should mention it was a game for the ages for Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. But the real story yesterday, is it possible that Brady and Belichick are both sitting home for the playoffs?
Giants at Bengals.
Well, first of all, the key observation is the Giants won the football game. I know Danny Dimes got injured with the hamstring. Colt McCoy came in there. But this team had no quit in them all year long. Joe Judge is the best coach within this division as of right now. And when you look at it, Jason Garrett is there on the sideline kind of teaching him how to become a head coach in the National Football League. The team's playing for him. You can't complain about the way they've played. I've said it along the way, Z, at 1-7. The only team that has beaten them that made you scratch your head about how they beat them was the San Francisco 49ers.
Cardinals at Patriots.
Well, this game, as I said before, I knew going into this game, Bill Belichick would have his defense ready for Kyler Murray in the game. Ugly win. They won the game. Statistics wasn't great. Cam Newton didn't play like a first-round MVP-type quarterback, but a win is a win is a win. All that matters is we're stacking up wins, and we're getting them. And I know a lot of people think from a controversial standpoint, the runner of the ball and Cam Newton taking a vicious hit, that 15-yard penalty gave them the opportunity to win. Don't hit him in the head. I don't care if he's outside the pocket or in the pocket. You don't hit a guy in the head.
Titans at Colts.
Big boy, I mean, you got to just marvel over Derrick Henry not getting a lot of buzz for the MVP conversation, but he's certainly leading the charge in Tennessee, has them rebounding after they struggled a little bit mid-season, kind of just teetered along, lost a couple questionable games. But when you got a back like that in the backfield doing the things that he's doing, it's ridiculous. But he's got to get 2,500 yards and 45 touchdowns to really be inserted into the MVP conversation, which means it's not going to happen this year.
49ers at Rams.
Here's another stinker for you. The Rams and Jared Goff, 49ers. It's just a bad matchup for the Rams. Sean McVay against Kyle Shanahan. Both of them work together in Washington. They know each other. But for whatever reason, the 49ers within this division, they got the Rams number. They're the only team that has the Rams number in the division. I mean, Seattle and the Rams back and forward. The Rams pretty much own Arizona to a degree, but when you look at it, they're 3-5 against the 49ers since Sean McVay has taken over, 11-2 against the rest of the NFC West. In the rest of the NFL, they're 28-13. 4 straight losses to the 49ers.
Here now, the fake and the throw. Mack across the middle. Touchdown, Alabama, John Mechie. John Mechie. Alabama leads 13-0.
I know I dare say this, but Alabama was Alabama whether Nick Saban was on the sidelines or not. How about Steve Saban Sarkisian, huh? No, they did a good job. Nick Saban put the team together. There's no question about it. But that just goes to show you when you recruit and you have dominant players and you put an organization in place and everybody knows exactly if I'm there, this is what you do. And if I'm not there, this is what you do. And they put things together. And they executed it just like that. You know, they went out there against a rival and took care of business despite the most dominant head coach in college football not being on the sidelines.
It's well said. They dominated, took Auburn to the woodshed. And one thing I just want to mention, not only did they not have Nick Saban, but on most teams in college football, it's hard to remember this because a million things have happened since this happened, but they lost Jalen Waddle, arguably their most talented player, on the opening kickoff against Tennessee and lost him for the rest of the season. So the fact that they've been able to be dominant without him, the fact that the quarterback is up for the Heisman without his best wide receiver, and they could win a game without the best coach in the modern era of the game says something.
Who needs Nick Saban? You got Sarkisian.
Jay, what do you think about his observations? You want to go college or pro?
Yeah, I love them all. I think the one that I would say, just staying in college football, is how amazing is it that in an era of COVID in 2020, we could have Ohio State in the CFP, college football playoffs. They could be there, but could not be in the Big Ten championship if they don't qualify getting 6 games. Like that's where we are. It's going to be interesting to see how the Big Ten handles this. If they decide to stay true to what they determined beforehand about saying, hey, 6 games you have to play in order to qualify for a Big Ten championship. I don't know why they put an arbitrary number on that to begin with in a season that is full of unknown. I don't know why they would do that.
So you have to play, not necessarily win. Just play those 6 games.
Yes. You have
So
to play
who would,
6.
who would replace him, though?
So Indiana.
That's fine.
Indiana could be in the Big Ten championship game against Northwestern.
That's fine.
Or
I'm
in
okay
Iowa.
with that.
One thing we should mention, we'll
okay
dig
with
into
that.
this with Heather Dinich in just about 30 minutes. And Jay did say right now the Big Ten did put a rule in place in October that essentially said it has to be 6 games. However, they have softened on that just a little bit. There is a little wiggle room to allow a team that has not played 6 games to qualify for the Big Ten championship game. And if you're wondering how they could do that, we'll talk about that in 30 minutes. I'll give you the entire rundown before we talk to the college football playoff insider, Heather Dinich. So if you're a Buckeye fan, you got Michigan State left, you're wondering whether you can go. Ryan Day got the coronavirus. He's saying they won't be on the practice field till Thursday. They play Saturday. There's a little bit of wiggle room on that 6 number, and we'll tell you about that in
Who
just a
was
minute.
that Z? And I know you got it in your knock it up there. That played in the national championship game and didn't play in their conference championship.
Alabama.
Was it Alabama? Yeah,
Alabama.
it's Alabama. So it does happen. Alabama did it, Jay. And Alabama did play in the SEC championship and played in the national championship.
In a full season.
In a regular season.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but it does happen.
I just remember I said this at the beginning of the year when we had Justin Fields on one of our first shows. I just said, I would be shocked if the Big Ten found a way not to put Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
What's more important, though?
No, I understand.
No, I'm
college
asking you,
football playoffs. I mean, winning a national championship is obviously more important.
I'm
But
fine with that.
But what's important for the conference too in ratings?
Yeah, but
That's another question.
But if I'm Ohio State and I'm not playing the Big Ten championship, but I'm playing in the Final Four?
Right.
All good.
We should mention one quick note to Key's point. There are no restrictions on how many games you have to play to be in the CFP. The Big Ten is mandating 6 games, 5 games, but the College Football Playoff is saying if we deem you to be one of the best 4 teams,
yeah, you're in.
We don't care how many games you played. If you pass our eye test, you're in.
It just seems like for a conference